Well, after months of nonstop pressure from the unions, the Obama administration is reportedly about to propose a tax break for big labor under Obamacare. But how about the rest of America? Think you'll be getting that tax break too? Justin Wilson is the managing director at the Center for Union Facts, and so the unions have been all over the president on this. They wanted him to actually give them the same subsidies that people applying for insurance in the individual market would potentially get. You're not allowed to get that if you have employer-based insurance or union-based insurance. They said, we want subsidies too. The administration couldn't do it because the law says no. So now they found this backdoor way of making life easier for just them, Justin, and it's basically a big tax break, and it looks like the administration may now push for it.
You know, we've got, maybe upwards of 10 or 15 million Americans getting these cancellation letters, but the unions, who spent $400 million to get the president elected twice, are getting a little bit of payback, right? President Obama originally said, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. Your plans may also go bankrupt, and we might have to dump another 10 million people into the exchange. The unions were apoplectic. They went public with their disdain for the president, and all of a sudden we had Republicans touting the fact that you had the Teamsters calling for repeal of the plan. Well, it turns out a few days ago, the administration slipped something into the regulations.
Kathleen Sebelius.
And they're going to exempt plans, and they made it a carve-out so specific that it's basically only union plans that are going to be exempted from paying upwards of $600 million into a fund. Now get this, the fund they're going to put this money into is the fund that's intended to prevent the plans from going into a death spiral. I don't even know where they're going to get this $600 million they're not charging to the unions, but I can imagine that they're probably going to be looking towards businesses for that.
That's the question. Once again, where does the money come from? Why do the unions get the tax break that the rest of the American people don't get? And where is this story? Nobody's covering this story.
Exactly. They called these Cadillac plans during the debate about Obamacare. These plans provide for hair plugs, they provide for free Viagra, they provide for just about anything you want. The only thing they don't actually provide for is actually getting picked up from your house in a Cadillac and driven to your doctor's office. That being said, they're so incredibly expensive that every employer is looking to their union and saying, these plans are going to put us out of business. Where are you going to be then? And they're going to have to dump all their employees into the exchanges. The unions are, it's hard to explain just how angry they were at this administration. We have never seen the unions come out so hard against President Obama until they actually had what went from a Cold War to a hot war. Well, you know what he's doing now? He's buying their silence with a $600 million payback. We had the Cornhusker payback. We had the we had the Louisiana Purchase. We had the Cornhusker kickback. I'm going to call this one the big labor bailout.
And the unions made a raw political argument that they helped President Obama passed this law, and they deserve to be taken care of. And apparently, their argument has prevailed. Quick question before I let you go. How do they get this through? Is this President Obama can do this with the stroke of a pen? Kathleen Sebelius can basically do this with the stroke of a pen? Or does anybody have to sign off on this other than them?
Well, so the unions were trying to argue that there was some regulatory gymnastics that could allow them to get the same subsidies that people on the exchanges could get. And they were told resolutely they just cannot. And they said, yes, we can. This, on the other hand, is not necessarily prohibited. But I'm wondering how this balances the budget for this plan, right? All of a sudden, we've just exempted another $600 million minimum from what's supposed to be paid into these funds that are actually probably pretty necessary, as we're finding out. I don't know where they're going to get it from.
Wow. All right, Justin. Thank you for that.